If you have ever heard sounds like this or like this, it might be a sign to step up your bike maintenance game. And today I'm showing you 5 of my favorite bike maintenance tools from AliExpress. These tools will help you have better braking, better shifting, and overall your parts will last longer. So without further ado, let's jump into the video. The first item on the list is something that not a lot of people have at home, and also to me it was just a very recent addition to my repertoire, but now it's one of my most favorite tools that I own, and that is a derailleur hanger alignment tool. Something that I didn't know I needed, but something that has really improved my maintenance when it comes to my shifting and my shifting performance. This is coming from a brand that's called ZTTO, and it's a brand that has been featured on the channel quite a lot, and this might be a great time to tell you that none of the brands have sponsored this video. I have purchased all of these tools with my own money and have not been paid to feature these products. So let's continue. First things first, if you hold this tool in your hand, you can really feel that the manufacturing quality is really nice. So it's quite heavy in the hand. You have screws to support all of these different adjustment mechanisms, which we will talk about in a second. And even though I've used this tool quite a lot and I usually just throw it in my cabinet when I'm done, it still looks brand new. But this item has really changed the game for me when it comes to adjusting your derailleur cage. So we all know the problem that at some point you will dink your derailleur and the hanger will bend slightly inwards, and that will decrease your shifting performance substantially. So that is quite an annoying problem. But this one is quite nifty. You screw this screw into the derailleur hanger, then you adjust the lower railing here, and with that you can very precisely align the derailleur hanger to be straight again, so you have the best shifting performance possible. When looking at these B-roll shots, you can see that it is quite intuitive to use. You just screw the top part in the derailleur hanger, you adjust the lower rod, and here you can see that it's very easily noticeable when your derailleur hanger is off center. So you just move the rod around and then you just pull the derailleur hanger alignment tool in short motions so that you can straighten the derailleur hanger. And honestly, for the price of around 19 euros, this is such a no-brainer because it will have a substantial impact on your shifting performance. And with that also, your chain will last longer, of course, because it's more centered. So in the long run, I'm sure that this tool will pay for itself in just part longevity. And also cycling is of course more fun if you can shift well. So if you're interested in this item, check out the link in the description below. This is the ZTTO HAG5 derailleur hanger alignment gauge. So really nifty thing, and I really love it. Great addition to my kit. The second item on the list is something that every cyclist should own, and that is a chain checking tool. So this is a very nifty one from Ride Race. It is very easy to use. You just stick it in, you use this little flap here, and you can very precisely see how used your chain is. What I really like about this one is, first of all, the build quality is amazing. This is made from aluminum and it feels very sturdy, almost feels, yeah, kind of luxurious. The parts on this tool are chamfered all the way around, so there's no sharp edges anywhere, and I have no doubt that this tool will last you a long time, maybe even forever. But what I like most about this item is that it's so intuitive to use. Everybody can just stick it in and see very precisely what the usage is. That is unlike these more basic chain checkers, where you basically have two sides and then you can see how far the little stick here dips into the chain, but that is quite imprecise. And you also have to switch it around if you want to have the deeper gauge to see if it's really used. So this one is just one motion, stick it in, press the lever, and basically you're done. So for the 4.50 euros that I pay for it, I would definitely not hesitate to get a second one because these ones are really great. The third item on the list is, technically speaking, not a cycling item, but a motorbike item, and that is this little brush here. This one I find works really well for bikes because first of all, you have very stiff brushes that you can really go into the cogs with, and also you have this detachable head that you can use in order to put your chain right in here, snap the thing together, and then it cleans your chain from all 4 sides. So that is quite nifty. The build quality is not that great, and I'm sure it will not last you forever, but in the end it's a brush, it's an item that you will consume at some point, but it really does a great job at cleaning all of your drivetrain parts. So if you don't have a brush, or if you do, it is always nice to have these ones handy. This one wasn't the cheapest one. I think it was 3.50 euros. I'm sure you can find them cheaper, but still, I got a couple of them just to be sure, because a clean bike is a good bike. Item number 4 is something that you need if you have this annoying noise. and that is a disc brake rotor alignment tool. Sometimes you knock your disc rotor and it's slightly off-centered, so one side of the disc rotor is slightly misaligned. And what this tool can do, it can just slide into the disc and then you just pull it back to the side, as you see here on the B-roll shots, in order to straighten it up. And strictly speaking, this is not really a necessary item in your repertoire. You can also always do it with an adjustable wrench, but this one does have the proper sizes for the different disc brake rotor sizes. So depending on whether you run Shimano or SRAM, there's different thicknesses here. And just because it's a very straight edge, it is very, precise to use. And usually just within a couple of moves, your disc brake is straight again. And because knocking your disc brake rotors is something that can happen quite often actually, I think that this is a nice addition to always just up your game and have your disc brakes straighten again so they don't annoy you on the ride or so. Price for this item was about €4, which I would say is a fair price to keep you sane on your rides. So without further ado, let's go to the last item. And the fifth and last item for this list is the Torri piston spreader. We all have this happen to us at some point. You have your bike in the bike stand, your wheel is not inside, and you push the brakes and the pistons move in together. That can be quite annoying because aligning the disc rotor gives you much less leeway than if your pistons are all the way out. So your brake performance will be better and you can align them better. And this tool helps you to just push the pistons back into their original position in a very even manner so that they don't damage the brake pads. And in the past, what I've done, what probably most of you do, is I just chuck in a flathead screwdriver and do it by that way. But the problem is that the flathead screwdriver has a very narrow tip at the front, and that leads the screwdriver to slightly bite into the brake pads, which is not good because you lose braking efficiency. So this tool is specifically designed to give you a very flat edge and a very easy approach angle. So as you can see, that you can just pull it in, wiggle it around a little bit, and you don't damage your brake pads and everything works fine again. So all 5 items are linked in the description down below. If you're interested, check them out. And if you want to see more videos of me reviewing AliExpress items, click here. And if you want to subscribe, click here.